Hi families, I wanted to work through a problem with you that we worked on today. See if it helps a little bit with the homework at home and what you guys are working on at home. We are still doing addition with regrouping. I do plan on quizzing students this week to see where they're at. From what I'm getting from a lot of their in-class work is a lot of them are understanding really well. This is probably one of the trickier problems for them, but most of them are making exchanges and understanding this this concept. So I am going to quiz this week. I hope to have it home to you by Friday so you can kind of see where your kids are at too. But let's work through this problem and see if this helps a little bit if you're having some trouble understanding at home. So I have my problem set up here. I have my hundreds, tens, and ones, my place value chart here. A lot of students want to move on really fast from the place value chart and just do the numbers, but can sometimes confuse themselves. So if you're seeing any trouble at home, remind them to use the place value chart, and hopefully that gets them back on track. So I tell my students we're going to start in the ones place. I do have some students who try to start from the hundreds place, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But if you're, I would just tell them to start in the ones place. That way they can keep track of any exchange that they're making. So we have ones place first. We have 4 ones. We have 1, 1. So altogether we have 5 ones. Asking the student, do we need to exchange? No, we don't. We don't have 10 ones over here, so we're good to go. Then we move to the tens place, and we see that we have a lot of tens. After counting them up, finding out that we actually have 23 tens in our tens place. So another thing I do when I'm making my place value chart is I put it into an invisible tens frame, meaning I mark everything by 5s. That way students can clearly count and say 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 5 and 5, that's a 10. And so this helps a lot with the exchanging too, because they can see and count pretty quickly that I do have 10 tens, and 10 tens is the same as 100. So they could take their first 5 and 5 and make 10 tens. And we're going to move that to the hundreds place. We're going to exchange it for 100. If they're not sure, have them just count it out. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. I know 10 tens is the same as 100. So if I have 20 tens, so here I have 9. I'm going to grab 1 10 from up here. Take that. I have another 10 tens. So actually I was able to exchange 20 tens for 200. Going over to our number, and this is a reminder that I've had to give a lot of them too, put it on your work. If I exchange for 200s, I want to put it on my work so that I don't lose track of what I'm doing. So we can see left here we have 10, 20, 30. We have 3 tens left, and then we have a total of 700s, and my answer is 735. If your student is starting from the left side, so say we had 149 and maybe let's see, 162. Say if we did this one and they wanted to start from this side, what I've been showing them too is a reminder of this is not 1 plus 1, so I shouldn't be writing I should be saying 100 plus 100. That makes it 200. If I do 60 and 40, that gives me 10 tens or 100. 60 and 40 makes 100. And then 9 and 2. And then they can see it this way. I'm not minding so much which side they start from, as long as they can tell me what they're doing and they are understanding that when they get here to the tens and noticing, oh, I do have another 100, it can just be confusing to them because then they kind of have to go back and backtrack. So if that's something that's mixing them up, then certainly go back and have them start at the ones place. I just try to avoid the, telling them that they have to do it one way, because I really just want to see what are they explaining to me that they're doing. But certainly if it's confusing to you or if it's creating confusion among them, tell them to start at the ones place and tell them that we're starting at the ones place so that they can keep track of every exchange they make. So those are a couple problems. I will give you guys a heads up when we start subtraction with exchanging so that you, and maybe send home another video for you guys so that you can see what that looks like and see if that helps a little bit. So I hope that this helps with homework. If you have any more questions, let me know. I will also have a math kind of homework that if you want to take it home when you're on break next week, you can. You do not have to. I know that everyone has family and other things. I just have it as an option. If you feel like your kiddo needs extra practice, I will have it here at school for you if you need it. But otherwise, let me know. And look for a quiz coming home in the next few days. We'll do a kind of a quiz and see how we're doing, where we're at, and if we're even ready to move on to subtraction, and we'll just see how that goes. All right, thanks. Bye.